Hey guys, so it's Casey's Nation here again. I pretty much just wanted to do a complete, or not a complete, but like I'm done kind of video with the Toyota series I had going. So basically, I finished pretty much everything I want to do with the Toyota in terms of getting it running and getting it to the way I want it and everything. So that's pretty much what I'm going to show you today, is everything I've done. And so I'm going to try to get it within 10 to 12 minutes because that's pretty much all I have left on this camera. So let's get to it. Alright, so I'll start from the front, I guess. That'll work. So here we go. It's the 1982 Toyota pickup. It's a two-wheel drive model. It's got a 22R. I think it's overhead cam, single cam. I think. I'm not 100% sure. I hadn't gotten into the engine a whole lot, just the carburetor. When I first got it, it was white, and I've since primed it and painted it green and put a camper on it and found some better wheels for it. What these wheels here are, they come off of I want to say a 1980, right around the same year as this truck. It's like a 81 or 83 Ford Ranger. Just they have the same bolt pattern, 5 lug with a 4.5 inch center hub, and then I've got some just some 215 by 65 Dominators that have some more tread on them compared to what it was. The reason why I went ahead and put newer wheels on it was because these are 15 inch, and when these trucks were new, and the wheels that I had gotten on it were 14 inch, and 14 inch tires in terms of versatility are really hard to find nowadays. There's really only two different sizes, and they're both small. But as you can see, I have that. I did have like some steel rims on it at one point in time, and I have those somewhere around here somewhere that had, and I've rolled through some mud apparently, that one of them were bent. I got them out of the junkyard. But as you can see, I've painted the whole truck olive drab green with the exception of the camper. I'm keeping the camper black. It's a versatile camper. It's easier to paint it black than it is to paint it green because there's just more paint I gotta buy. As you can see, the camper has a window. I had to put that in there. The camper came with a busted window and it didn't have a working lock, so I put a working lock on there now. I painted everything. I even primed it before I painted it, so I sanded down all the old paint, the stuff that would come out to where it was smooth, and then I painted it with a Rust-Oleum paint-on primer. And you might be able to see some evidence of where the primer got on. You see that brown stuff there? That was the primer that I used. And if I can find the pictures for it, I'll try to post it up with this video. But pretty much, that's I coated it all with that primer, and then I painted it olive drab green. Was just some Rust-Oleum olive drab. We'll go into the cab for a minute, and I'll show you some things that I've done. Things I've done on the engine: I've replaced all the brake. I've pretty much replaced almost all the brake components with exclusion to the wheel cylinders. Replaced the master cylinder. Replace the clutch and the slave cylinders, so my clutch works 100% now. They all have new fluid in them. One thing I had problems with was this truck, for some reason, would have bad acceleration, or or it cut off at random at intersections. And I did a little bit of research and a lot of trial and error. I went ahead and rebuilt the carburetor and put a new float in it, which costed a lot of money to do, and just to find out that that wasn't actually my problem. What happened was I had a bad fuel shut-off switch, or there was a wiring issue that was causing it to shut off when it shouldn't have. And I found and talked to a couple guys that knew a lot about these trucks, and they basically said, oh, you can just patch that wire in there right to the ground, and you won't ever have that problem again. So that's pretty much it for in terms of the inside of the engine bay, other than me just changing out a couple parts here and there, like the distributor cap and air filter. And I added a new horn on it. The old horn, I never recorded it. I should have, but it was really, really, really quiet. It was just like a eek kind of thing. Now, the horn I have on it now, it has 2 horns on it, and it's very, very loud, and people know where I am when I honk at them. But as you can see, I have a tape deck player in here that has the ability to hook up an iPod right there. I think that's a dual XC4100. It's just a 30-watt stereo, but I just ripped that tape out too. That's bad, because that's some Def Leppard tape right there. Anyways, that aside, there's I have a Boss 200 watt amp underneath the seat here that powers some 6x9s I have behind these seats. I'm gonna go ahead and just start it up real fast. Hand off the thing. I can get the keys out. We'll start it up real fast and show that it starts up good and fine now. I had one issue with the choke recently because now that it's gotten cold recently, it would take forever to start it in the morning. So I went back into the carburetor to find out what it was, and there was some linkage going to the choke that prevented it from moving. So basically I unhooked a linkage on the carburetor and the thing works fine. What I think I unhooked was like the fast idle valve, but I hadn't had any issues since, so I'm not going to mess with it anymore. But I'm going to start it up for you. You always want to pump this pedal at least 2 or 3 times, and as you can see, she starts up just fine. And I've got a squeaky pulley or belt I gotta attend to, but I mean, she's a 30-year-old workhorse. She's bound to make a couple sounds. She only has 159,000 miles on her, so she's at a good mileage. I've seen people that have run that clock around twice. I am thinking about straight piping the exhaust pretty soon, just because the muffler on there is getting old, and it's at the point where it's making a lot of noise that it shouldn't. I'd rather have a nice sounding loud truck compared to a loud truck that makes a lot of like rattling noises and whatnot. But as you can see, heat works all fine and everything. I've got a fog light switch. I'll turn all the lights on for you so we can go out and look at the truck with them on. And I redid the door panels also, the ones on it. You can see there's a little bit of water damage there. I got to fix a leak, but I'm going to cover these with some stuff. Basically, the old ones had gotten all beat up because someone had tried to put newer speakers in it, and they just failed. As you can see, I got 2 lights. Those fog lights are very, very bright. That's because I modified them and took off their dampener. But they light up the whole area around them. And then the regular lights up front light up pretty well. I had to replace these side markers here because they made a lens. Sorry, it would help if you could see it on camera. They made a lens that goes over it, and the lenses are cracked, and it costs like $30 to get a new one because you have to buy a new old stock, and I just can't find it. So I just put a chicken foot lens on here and fixed it for $10. As you can see the exhaust here. I'll turn this off, and we're gonna go into the back of the oh, I hit the hazards. Sitting there trying to turn the thing off. Alright, so we're gonna go into the back of the oh, and there's an ammo can and a cup holder thing. That's the only thing that old cars, just the one thing I hate about them. They didn't think about cup holders back then. Alright, so I'm going to get this video starting to get towards the end of it. Basically, I'm going to show you what I did to the back of the truck. And I have more elaborate videos on the back here coming up soon. Basically, in the back, there's a bicycle in the back. Basically, I built like a bed kind of thing, if you can see that, in the back. What this does is it hides all my junk, for one, and allows me to, if I want to sleep in the back of this thing, I can do so. And I have a tent back there, just in case, for later on. Right now I have my bicycle in here and a bunch of other stuff that I need to get out, so no one tries to steal it. But as you can see, I added lights. There's just duct tape up there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. These two windows here open up, and they allow for a lot of ventilation in the summertime, as well as this big bay window here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, this is just a it's done kind of video. The whole truck is completely done. There's probably maybe a handful of things, just minor things that need to be done to it. But other than that, the truck runs and drives great. I love it to death. I'm thankful that my dad let me have it, or let me, I guess, buy it from him. But any of that, that's it.